Sponsored by Midland. Communication for every adventure. The industry leader in radio communication technology and innovation for over 50 years.
Sponsored by MYMEDIC. First aid kits that will actually save your life, not just Band-Aids and gauze.
Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
Hi, my name is Phil from Waypoint Overland, and you're listening to Random Waypoints. All right, so here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Random Waypoints podcast. We'll be doing an episode every week, so like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss an episode. This week, we'll answer our viewers' questions about what you need to overland when traveling through Washington State. And I'll share my top 5 knives for overland travel, so stay tuned for the whole show. But first, let's look at the news.
During this segment, we'll cover various topics with a connection to overlanding in some way. It could be land use news regarding the national parks or the Bureau of Land Management. We'll keep you up to date on any auto industry news when it pertains to relevant and potential overlanding vehicles. There will be camping and outdoor industry news, as well as photography and video, fishing, hiking, and on and on. Now, here's the news.
The Ford Bronco has began rolling off the line at its Michigan assembly plant, which underwent a $750 million upgrade and added 2,700 jobs. The all-new 2-door and first-ever 4-door Bronco models are now on the way to Ford dealerships nationwide. Susie Deering, Ford Chief Marketing Officer, stated, "We know the fans have been waiting for the Bronco, and we're so excited to bring it back. And this Bronco is better than ever." John Savannah, Vice President, Manufacturing and Labor Affairs, stated, "We have the most skilled workforce in America working in a plant that's state-of-the-art. It's an unbeatable combination designed to deliver our customers a high-quality, ready-for-anything, all-new Bronco. Bronco customers will be able to opt into modifications including roof racks, a front bumper safari bar, and exterior graphic packages, just to name a few, which will be factory installed at the modification center. The modular design of the Bronco allows for a vehicle as unique as each customer." Yellowstone National Park announced exciting new plans to test its first autonomous electric shuttle system. The Electric Driverless Demonstration in Yellowstone, or TEDI, will serve visitors until August 31st. TEDI is free to use and will operate 7 days per week on 2 different routes. Park Superintendent Cam Shalley stated, "We're very pleased to participate in this shuttle pilot and test this evolving technology." Beep Incorporated supplied the vehicles for the pilot program. The Department of Transportation selected Beep Incorporated to partner with the National Park Service in July 2020. The primary goal of the program is to collect data, and park management is responsible for regularly monitoring shuttle and environmental conditions. Yellowstone decided to experiment with the autonomous shuttles because of an uptick in visitors. In 2019, it was the 4th most visited park in the country and welcomed over 4 million visitors. To keep riders safe on each ride, TEDI comes equipped with an onboard attendant. This person's primary responsibility is rider safety, according to the National Park Service website. There are 3 benchmarks for the program's success: safety, data collection, and transparency. Heat is believed to have killed a backpacker at Grand Canyon National Park, just one of several deadly incidents in the national park system in recent days. The Grand Canyon hiker, 53-year-old Michelle Meter of Hudson, Ohio, was on a multi-day trek from the Hermit Trail to Bright Angel Trail when she became disoriented and then fell unconscious on Saturday. On Sunday, rangers who responded to the matter determined that Meter had passed away. The high temperature at Phantom Ranch on the floor of the national park reached about 115 degrees, according to the Park Service. During summer months, temperatures on exposed parts of the trail can reach over 120 degrees in the shade. Hiking trails at the park don't close due to hot weather, but rangers advise against hiking in the inner canyon between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Most of the people who need emergency medical help in the canyon due to heat illness are hiking between these hours, a park release said. At Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado, rangers were notified late Friday afternoon that a woman's body was discovered below the outtake of the Loch, a backcountry lake. The body was noticed by park visitors in the drainage below the outlet of the Loch. Her body was transferred to the Larimer County Coroner's Medical Examiner Office. She has been positively identified as a 33-year-old female from Arvada, Colorado. A death also was reported in the past week at Bighorn Canyon National Recreation Area in Wyoming. 19-year-old Dominique Hunter of Lovell, Wyoming, had been swimming with friends near Berry's Landing when she disappeared underwater. Searchers found the young man's body underwater around 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. Well, now it's time for our viewer question. Our viewer question this week is, I love the podcast, and you've convinced me to visit your state. Is there anything special I need to bring with me? Well, my answer to that is yes. And here are my suggestions for overlanding in my home state of Washington. The first thing is a chainsaw, an axe, or a handsaw. It doesn't matter the season or the weather. Traveling off-road in the forest, there's always the chance of fallen trees. There have been many times it's smooth sailing into the forest. Then there's a flash storm and trees are strewn all over the trails. You could be stuck for a day or two. And a chainsaw, an axe, or a handsaw will be the only way to get home. Next, I think you need a shovel. A shovel will be part of your recovery kit most likely. But if not, you need one in Washington. Most of the Pacific Northwest requires you to have a shovel if you plan to go off the main roads. You also need a fire extinguisher. Same thing here. Most of the Pacific Northwest requires you to have a fire extinguisher if you plan to go off the main roads. Vegetation can catch sparks from your vehicle and start a fire. But a fire extinguisher should be a part of your kit no matter when you take your rig. The next is traction boards. In these parts, a trail can go from sand to mud to snow to sand and back in a very short distance due to altitude. If you plan to go off-road, in my opinion, traction boards are one of the best bang for your buck pieces of self-recovery equipment. Using a winch or a snatch strap involves massive forces, and failure could be deadly. The safest bet is simply drive out of the situation if you can. No other vehicle necessary. And you don't need to be driving a 4x4 or going off-road to benefit from them. They work just as well in the snow and on the road as they do in mud or soft sand or whatever. I also think you should make sure to have the necessary permits, such as an American Beautiful Pass and a Washington State Discover Pass. The American the Beautiful Pass will give you access to all the parks managed by the National Park Service, National Forests, National Wildlife Refuges, the Bureau of Land Management, the Bureau of Reclamation, and the Army Corps of Engineers. It's a convenient and economical solution for those planning to visit at least 3 national parks. Washington State has 3 national parks, and I recommend you visiting them all. The Discover Pass offers you access to millions of acres of state recreation lands in Washington, including state parks, campgrounds, primitive recreation sites, and nearly 2,000 miles of designated water and land recreation trails. The next thing you need is a flag. You absolutely need a flag for your rig if you're planning on operating on sand. It's for safety and it's the law. Now this one, it isn't an item you bring with you, but I think it's very important. Make sure your muffler and exhaust system is in good working order. This prevents sparks. There are a lot of trails with vegetation growing on them, and those sparks will start a fire. In addition to your normal recovery gear and a first aid kit, these are the things I recommend for overlanding in my home state. Well, I hope that answers your question.
Random Lists is all about lists Waypoint Overland has created on an array of topics, such as top 5 national parks, top 10 trails in the United States, top 10 fill in the blank. I think you get it. Some lists will be pure fun, and others very informational. But they all will have a connection to overlanding in some way. We're very interested in hearing your suggestions for upcoming lists in the comments. Now, here's our random list.
On Random List this week, my list this week is my top 5 knives for overland travel. I may carry more than 5 knives, but these 5 knives always go with me on any journey I go on. I'm confident with these 5 I can do almost anything I need to do while on the road. A multi-tool, a bushcraft knife, a machete, a chef's knife, and a paring knife. Here are my choices for each category. The multi-tool that I use is the Leatherman Wave. Whether I'm tightening a loose screw, opening a can, or removing a barbed hook from a fish, the Wave has all the essential tools. All 18 tools can be opened and locked quickly, conveniently to tackle any task. Many of these tools are outside accessible, so you can use them when the multi-tool is folded and closed. I've been relying on my Leatherman Wave for years because it has a robust set of pliers, a sharp knife, and a screwdriver. There's a small file to sharpen hooks and a pair of scissors to trim fishing line. The bush knife that I use is a Benchmade 162 Bushcrafter. For many years now, I've trusted a Benchmade 162 Bushcrafter. It won't rust, and it's built like a tank. I have no fears of using it to its full potential. And a true bush knife should have an edge that makes striking a flint easy to do and to create kindling. The Bushcrafter has an excellent edge, and I use it all the time. It has hollow points in the handle, so I can tie it to a tree limb or a pole for extension. Now to me, this is a big knife, so even though I always have it with me, it's never on my belt. Now, the machete I use is a Benchmade Jungle Bolo. It's discontinued, but that's what I use. Sometimes you just need to hack at something. Tree limbs, brush, and overgrown trails come to mind. I don't use it often, but the thick, durable 9.5-inch blade, along with a secure and comfortable handle, give me the confidence to go ahead and just whack away. Now, the next knife is my chef's knife. I use a Global Knives chef's knife. I'm showing you 5 knives today, but you only need 1 or 2. And this is my recommendation if you want to store 1 or 2 knives. A chef's knife is one of the most versatile knives you can have in your home or overland kitchen setup. If I had to, I could do just about everything I need to do in the kitchen with just this one knife. I chose the Global brand of knives due to its all stainless steel construction. You know, living here in the Northwest, I have to always consider rain and humidity, and I have no worries with this knife when I'm traveling. Next, the paring knife I use is a Global Knives paring knife. Even though I said I could do just about anything in the kitchen with a chef's knife, a paring knife is just as valuable, only second to the chef's knife in my opinion. I love the handle, I love the weight of it, and the little dots on the handle give me a secure grip. And again, I chose the Global brand of knives due to its all stainless steel construction. Because living here in the Pacific Northwest, most knife options would just rust. Well, that's my top 5 knives for overland travel. Do you agree or disagree? Do you have your own list? Well, please share in the comments. Well, that wraps up another episode of the podcast. We leave you this week with footage from Snow Camp Lookout in Oregon's Rogue River National Forest. Snow Camp Lookout sits at the peak of Snow Camp Mountain at an elevation of over 4,200 feet, offering spectacular panoramic views of the surrounding area. Well, we'll see you next week. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And with that, I want everybody to stay safe, tread lightly, and hopefully I'll see you here or on the trail soon.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.
In 1/4 mile, arrive at Snow Point